Virgo, welcome to your Virgo February 2021 reading. It's great to see you. Great to see the subscribers back again. I always love seeing you. Much affection and love goes to you each month. We have great fun here on this channel, don't we? We really do. It's different. It's good. And particularly so for the highly talented and attractive Virgo. Now, by the way, I have a Virgo card here for you. All right, so I'm going to use that at the top of the spread. The energy of that will infuse through the rest of the cards that are here, and I'm going to draw 5 cards because that's all we're going to need in order to do your reading. And by the way, if you would like to have a personal one-on-one clairvoyant reading with me, which uses a little bit of tarot, but mainly it's clairvoyant spiritual gift, that's at work, then just check out the information that's in the description box below. But let's get the 5 cards out for you now, shall we? Let's see what there is in store. What's the first one here? The 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords in February 2021 for Virgo. Why would that be there? Depends to see what else is around it. Well, the Knight of Cups, that could well be something to do with it. The Knight of Cups is a person, probably, although it's also got things to say to you. There is the 4 of Swords. Well, that's a lot better to see that. That's 3 of Swords has come up as a message, you know. There's a Knight of Coins. And what's in here? Let's go and take something from... Well, you look like you're sticking out, whoever you may be. Let's have a look. And there's the King of Coins, the Knight of Coins and the King of Coins, father and son. Quite a materialistic month for you, I'd say, and it all bodes well for money, I've got to tell you. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Why don't you come and sit next to me? Let's have a look at the beautiful imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Now, next month's reading will take place on Wednesday, the 10th of February at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. Now, here's this Virgo card, which I spoke of in the introduction. Just have a quick look at it. Virgo. It could be someone of the Islamic faith, someone who is an adherent to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or a Catholic nun who are the brides of Christ and married to God. I know that when my daughter was very young, about 7, she said, I want a boyfriend. I said, you can't have a boyfriend. I want a boyfriend. You can't have a boyfriend. I need to get married. I said, you're going to marry God. So forget about it. And anyway, let's look now first at this 3 of Swords. And so, incidentally, she has not chosen that path, thankfully. Now, nothing wrong with nuns, of course. Here's the 3 of Swords. Well, what can I say about the 3 of Swords? I'll say this to start, that it is Saturn. Saturn coming into the picture here in the 2nd decan of Libra, the 3rd to the 12th of October. You know what a decan is, don't you? Each of the zodiac signs makes up 30 degrees of the zodiac wheel. The wheel is 360 degrees, and the 12 signs, 12 threes are 36, so 12 by 30 is 360. And each decan is 10 degrees of the sign. So there is the first decan, the cardinal, the second decan, the fixed, the third decan, the mutable. So you've got 3 decans in each of your sign. But this is in the 2nd decan, Saturn here, which is the 3rd to the 12th of October. Now, in ordinary astrology, that is good because Saturn is exalted in Libra, and so we might expect good things. But this number 3 here, for me, mystically, is also associated with the planet of Saturn, and Saturn can be about restriction. And Saturn is also about bringing together a sort of an impetus to follow your life's path or your true course throughout life. And Saturn can be seen as having limits, restrictions to do with time, form, and formality. And the suits of Swords, well, Swords is the child, if you like, of the union of the suits of fire, wands, and water, cups, to produce air and fire and water put together. There's some conflict and complexity there, so this suit can throw up some difficulties here. And I think that this talks about perhaps Saturn applying its hard lessons on Libra's desire for relationships, And sorrow can be a natural event that most of us have to go through at some point. Libra is also associated with adjustment and justice, so there is a link to sorrow in the universal law of karma, of cause and effect, really. It may well be that there is a period here where you are feeling some worries about something, some doubts, a lack of clarity, a heaviness. Could be a three-sided relationship coming about. Now, that three-sided relationship doesn't need to relate just to romantic affairs, but can involve family, friends, things like this, where there's issues being thrown up. You may feel that there is a time in here where you have sorrow over past hurts or losses or separations, a sense of melancholy or fit. Now, this is going to be resolved, incidentally, thanks to this reading in this next card, which I'll get to because this is the central energy here. But let me continue with this for the time being, that there is a longing for you to be whole. Thoughts of sorrow, that's the suit of swords. The energy here can reflect past patterns that one can mentally recognize. It indicates that you may not have released patterns or events from the past, and they are currently producing some depression or sorrow. And as I say, this card, well, look, this energy here really is a summons to you to make clear, unequivocal decisions, because only in this way can the lost balance, that's the Libra aspect of the card, be regained. What decisions are difficult to you to make or to face? And understand that every problem contains within it its own solution. But it is a natural human condition, sorrow or melancholy, and it passes, and you should not fear it, because your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and the self-same well from which your laughter rises was often filled with your tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Isn't the glass that holds your wine the very glass that was burned in the glassmaker's factory? And isn't the cello that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you will find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is now giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again into your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. You see, the thing is that sorrow and joy, they are inseparable. They come together, and when you are sitting down alone with sorrow at your table, remember that in the next room, joy is asleep on the couch, ready to wake up and to come bursting in again. But it ends well for you here in that particular aspect of your life, because you have this Four of Swords. That's here. Now this time, swords is not at all troublesome in the least. This, in this position, and with this card next to it, is Jupiter, ruling the third decan of Libra this time. That was the second decan, this is the third decan. Jupiter ruling the third, which is the dates are the 14th of October to the 22nd of October. This is the Lord of Rest from Strife. And what we find here is that Libra is trying to find balance in your life. And the need for balance can sometimes induce unrest. Libra can also induce indecisiveness from time to time. But Jupiter gives you a period of rest from a difficult situation, as well as opening your higher mind's flexibility, which is needed to resolve the conflicts in your life, which you will do. Jupiter allows you to move on. Your mind will be negotiating some resolution to things at the moment. So you will be calm, centered, have clarity. I get the feeling of spiritual cleansing here, really, and recuperation. Yeah, recuperation, I think, and agreement, and the need for you to take a bit of a break on things. I think you'll be recognizing with yourself that you do need to take some time out from a stressful situation. Even if you can manage a holiday to recharge your batteries, a mental health break is needed. Now, conflicts don't necessarily go away, but time out from them is needed. Now make the most of this, what I'll call a mental health break, but don't put off what needs to be dealt with, as unavoidable things can grow to become bigger or even more challenging. But trust your intuition to know when enough time has passed for you to have sufficiently rested. And make the most of this break to be at your strongest when you need to face the issues at hand. You have enough inner clarity now to successfully carry out your plans. Be sure at all times that you feel good about what is happening. And ask yourself, what supports or what hinders your clarity? Check on your surroundings and rearrange them to support calm and centeredness. And say to yourself, I am at peace within myself. Well, where shall we go next? I think we'll have a look at the Prince of the Chariot of Waters, otherwise known as the Knight of Cups. Now, who's this person? These court cards, and the next two after this card are court cards as well, and the genders are all expressed to be male, but they can be female as well. Now, I think Scorpio is important at this time. This is Scorpio, and or could well be a Libra that's here as well. So I think that what we have here is a man of some subtlety, some craft, someone who's almost like an artist who is calm on the surface, but that masks an intense passion, the ability to detach. See, I'm getting that feeling of Libra here, and Libra is an air sign, so I'm getting that feeling of detachment. The ability to detach from and Scorpio here, so the ability to detach from the heavy, intense, controlling emotions of Scorpio. He can detach from them. The card, I think, shows a person of some poise and control of their emotions. But being detached and cool can often be a front for insecurity and fear, you know. It can be. I think what we have here is somebody who is completely without conscience in the ordinary sense of the word. He is perfectly ruthless, and I think he cares intensely for power and information and for the achievement of his own aims. He feels no responsibility for others, and really he can't be relied upon at the end of the day. He cares, as I say, intensely for information and for the achievement of his goals. And if you're ever in any concern about where you stand in relation to him, he's number one in his mind, and that's the end of it. Now, I think this means that this is a time where you may appear to be calm, but it may mask passion and intensity. And that's a passion and intensity which could make you quite volatile during this period. You, like he, has a lot to offer and an immense ability. But this knight here, he can't be relied upon, so make sure that you can be, because his main responsibility is to himself. He can be secretive, hiding his deepest desires. Now, it's somebody who could well be in the arts or the music or in sales, I think. And he's able to shed insight into other people's lives, as usually he's done everything himself. So he can be a good person to get advice from or to get counsel from as to how to handle a situation, particularly relationship situations. But at his worst, he can be cruel, selfish, and reckless. I think that this energy, though, is saying to you that you should accept your sexual needs and passions and live them out with awareness, because you will discover a lot in this process. Give yourself totally to the experience and observe yourself in it. And maybe ask yourself, what secret wishes are you unwilling to admit to? Spend some time each day visualizing yourself, your desires, without getting lost in them. And say to yourself, I now live out my sexual desires. This makes me more vital and fulfilled. Now, I'm going to turn to the king of the wild and fertile land. Let's have a look at him. This is the king of coins. Now, there's a lot of Virgo in here, a lot of Virgo. Leo could also be important to you during the period. I'm getting Virgo because the first two decans, you know, we spoke of decans before. Well, the first two decans of Virgo are ruled by, the first one by the sun and the second one by Venus. Now, he is the lord of the wild and fertile land, and the sun is necessary for the development of plant life and for nature and for crops. And of course, Venus only complements this. So this is somebody here who could well be a man of the land, but certainly this is a time when you will be patient, hardworking, clever here, clever. I also get medical people around here. I'm getting medicine around here. This is a period here also where it's important for you to ensure that you are doing things to keep your health in good condition. Don't neglect any issues with your health. And if you've got the ability to, and if there is something that you are concerned about, to make sure that you go and see a doctor about it. But this is saying to me that this is a time when you will be using your work ethic to get things done, not over-intellectualizing things. Now, you've got a fine mind, there's no doubt about that, but this is not the time to win a Nobel Prize. This is a time to rely on instinct and experience with things going on in your life. There's no air cards present here. No air cards present in this guy or in this guy or in this night as far as the people are concerned. So he, I don't think, is an intellectual at this time and uses, just good old work ethic to get things done. In fact, just be careful, though, that you're not seen as being someone who doesn't take any interest in anything outside of work. He has a deep connection with Mother Earth, and I think that this is something that you will be doing as well. Now is the time to set your abilities to work in service of some kind. The tasks before you might seem large and demand the use of all of your powers, but if you make the effort, the harvest will reward you richly. That is what we are looking at here, and this is being backed up by this card. Now, are there any tasks you would like to avoid in your life? Whenever things seem to be too much trouble for you, concentrate on the positive results of your actions for you and for other people. Your internal learning and growing process is the most important outcome, more important than that which you are going to achieve by your actions. And say this to yourself: with every task that comes my way, also comes the energy needed to accomplish it. Now let's have a look at the Prince of the Chariots of the Earth, which is the Knight of Coins, as shown to us here. Now this is a great position. See, I'm not concerned about that because you've got this strong knight here balanced by the king. And this Knight of Cups on the top there. Well, Knight of Cups can be a bit of a rebel, a bit of a renegade, and someone who can be quite elusive and hard to pin down. But what I'm seeing here is this is a time, you see, as this knight, he's air, and in the suit of coins, it's earth. Now, in elemental dignity rules, they are enemies and they weaken each other, so we can expect some sort of a conflict in his makeup. Now, when I say air and earth, weaken each other. You can imagine a hurricane or a cyclone or a typhoon or a tornado. Those things where the wind comes in and breaks up the natural environment. So there is some conflict in the makeup of this person, but nevertheless, someone who is competent, hardworking, and is reliable, maybe materialistic and focused. Now, this could be a Taurus or it could be an Aries that's here. Someone who's a very capable manager and a steadfast worker, maybe a bit dull. Someone who could be skeptical of spirituality. Someone who is slow to anger, but look out if he's been challenged beyond his limits by people. The character here has great energy that he can bring to bear on the most solid of practical matters. He's energetic and enduring, and he's very persevering, competent, ingenious, thoughtful and cautious, trustworthy, maybe imperturbable, actually. And he can seek new uses for common things, and he's able, as you will be, able to adapt to circumstances and turn them to your advantage with a slow, steady, well-thought-out plan. You'll have a great interest, I think, in design. This isn't just designing buildings or things, but it could relate to gardening, can also relate to fashion and makeup and things like that. How you look, how you design your image that you take out into the world. There's a great degree of prudence and care here as well. Physical activity, though, is going to be necessary, I think. So just make sure that you're keeping your health in good shape. This is a period of time when you are going to be taking responsibility for your life and being focused. You might find that you're quite good at sport or getting interested in exercise. You'll be putting a lot of effort into practical things at the moment. And as I say, some people might consider you to be insensitive or dull and lacking emotional warmth if you are too focused on things. Because this is a time in your life when you are goal-oriented and want to sort out the material side of your life, things to do with health, work, those things that are tangible to you. This is the time to take action, and if you do so, important experiences are going to result. What activities do you enjoy? What activities would help you towards self-realization? I'd ask you to find a physical, creative activity that's comfortable for you, in which you find joy and fulfillment, and say to yourself, I am finding the work that fulfills and satisfies me. Really quite a materialistic go-ahead month for you, Virgo. Good job. Well done. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, I thought that was a fascinating reading, didn't you? It was great. Very exciting. Very interesting information coming through. Lots of things to think about, lots of things to prepare yourself for, and get things going, because you have got everything going for you. And there is actually one thing that I need to say, and it's this: make sure, look, if you did like the video, please do hit the like button. It does help the YouTube algorithm somehow or other. The YouTube gremlins do things, or elves, they go and do some stuff, and I'd appreciate that. But in the meantime, and until I see you again next month, remember one thing and one thing always, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.